All right, bourgeoisie relatives, how we doing today? Bitcoin is looking fantastic here today. Check it out. We're on Bittrex. We got a high of 47.32. That's record highs, and that is a beautiful looking chart, huh? Let's back it up. Let's get a bigger picture look at it. Oh, that's glorious, glorious. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like the looks of that. How about you? Boom. Look at that. Put it into perspective for you. That's incredible, right? Anyways, let's check out what do we got here. Well, I got a lot of stuff to go. We won't go into cryptocurrency so much, but so next in line is we got this. Gasoline prices spike higher as 12.5% of gas, diesel, and jet fuel now offline. Let's see, this isn't too long of an article. Inflation warning. Gas prices are exploding higher and there are immediate shortages. And it's not just in Texas. The lifeblood of the American economy is about to get much more expensive, and that means everything else is about to go cost a whole lot more. So we're going to see things like Bitcoin and gold and silver. You know, the price is going to rise on those. So, gasoline prices have exploded higher once again this morning, topping the Magnat line of $2 for the first time since 2015, July 2015, following reports that the main conduit for fuel from the Gulf to the East Coast has been shut down due to Hurricane Harvey. That's what it was. See, that's what they did. That's what Hurricane Harvey's purpose was. They wanted to make how do you get the oil prices to go up, because that's what like the Iraqis, they were supposed to have all their financial, or like their international reforms in place and whatnot. Well, they I kind of think that it hasn't happened because the price of oil has gone down. Also, there's a lot of other things too. It's not just one thing, but I really do think that the price of oil needed to go up. I mean, that's in a prophecy that in the Kim Clement prophecy that Currency 365 talks about. And if you never watched Kim Clement, man, that woo wowee, that's good stuff. Anyways, so says here gasoline prices. Okay, so motor fuel prices climbed as much as 6.6% in New York, advancing for an eighth session, while crude oil was little changed. Harvey was shuttered about 23% of U.S. refining capacity, potentially cutting fuel making ability to the lowest level since 2008 and depriving the Colonial Pipeline of supplies. Its operator was forced to shut the main diesel line late Wednesday and planned to halt its gasoline line Thursday, meaning motorists from Maine to Florida may soon see higher prices at the pump. Colonial, which is the biggest single fuel transporter in the U.S., shipping more than 2.5 million barrels a day on its line, or roughly 1 in every 8 barrels of fuel consumed in the country. In a statement late on Wednesday that its line carrying diesel and jet fuel would shut on Wednesday evening, followed by its gasoline pipe on Thursday. And that sent front month RBOB above $2. It is absolutely spiked right there. Additionally, WTI prices are lower following news that the Strategic Petroleum Reserve has authorized release of 500,000 barrels of crude to Phillips 66 Lake Charles refinery. As gasoline surged to a 2-year high, U.S. oil prices lost about 4% since Harvey had made landfall as demand from refiners fell. As Bloomberg notes, this sent cracks the premium of the refined fuel over crude higher in New York, while the storm also triggered a flurry of transatlantic gasoline trading and disrupted exports of liquefied petroleum gas, causing prices to rise in Asia. Harvey is driving cracks to the sky, said chief commodities analyst of SEBAB in Oslo. Crude oil prices have declined while oil product prices have increased. Very interesting indeed. I don't know what I was talking about the Hurricane Harvey. I was watching this video that was showing an anomaly in the Hurricane Harvey storm system, and it was quite obvious that there was some weather manipulation going on, and it's been documented. It's not conspiracy theory. It's been documented. There's just a lot of stuff that is pointing to this. Yeah, it's happening. Come on, guys. So next new Fed comic book is anti-gold, anti-silver, anti-free markets, and anti-America. It's a little longer of an article. We'll just kind of skim through this. Post has been updated from this morning. The Fed is pushing this hard on our teachers and in our public schools. Not sure how to phrase it, so here's the crux. Rocks, not metal. Praise fiat. America needs a central bank. America needs over regulation. There is no such thing as weights and measures. Pro-massive United States debt load. Jeez. Talk about propaganda, right? This comic book is the most epic pro-Fed all-in assault on gold and silver ever. Once upon a dime, it's called. That the New York Fed tweeted that. And it says here, teachers need resources for lesson plans on banking, barter, and economics? Try our comic book. Screw off. Because there's this. We the people. And in Article 1 of the United States Constitution, to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. Fix the standard of weights and measures. And specifically in Section 10, no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. If anybody is as geeky as I am, here is the definition of $1 as originally defined in gold and silver with weights and measures. And the reason why I read articles like this is because I am a little bit geeky like that. So if you don't like it, don't listen. My videos go a little longer a lot of times. That's your preference if you don't like long videos. It's my preference to make long videos. So SEC 9. And be it further enacted that there shall be from time to time struck and coined at the said mint coins of gold, silver, and copper of the following denominations, values, and descriptions. I don't know what VIZ stands for. Eagles. Each to be of the value of $10 or units, and to contain 247 grains and 4/8 of a grain of pure, or 270 grains of standard gold. Half eagles, each to be of the value of $5, and to contain 123 grains and 6/8 of a grain of pure, or 135 grains of standard gold. Quarter eagles, each to be of the value of $2.50, and to contain 61 grains and 7/8 of a grain of pure, or 67 grains and 4/8 of a grain of standard gold. Dollars, or the same is now current, and to contain 371 grains and 4/16 parts of a grain of pure, and or 416 grains of standard silver. Oh, that's a lot to read. But you get the point, right? So this is why any 1964 and prior coin combinations of dollars, half dollars, quarters, and dimes equaling $1 is the exact same weight of silver. There was also this silver certificate. In silver payback to the bearer on demand. And now we have this, and it's more than just a farce. Federal Reserve. That ain't Congress. This is not what we said, says George Washington, and 100% pure fiat. That's what this little guy right here says. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. So if you go to make your own promissory note, that's what this is. That's what the dollar is basically a promise to pay, a promissory note. And you can create your own promissory promise to pay with your straw man, which is your legal name in all caps, right? And that's what the whole thing with Heather Ann Tucci and Randall Bean, that whole thing. That's those accounts. That's where those promissory notes are tapping into, and they're just trying to get unfettered access to these accounts because they were illegally made and illegally maintained and kept from us, and illegally traded on and still being traded on with by these corporations. There's a website where you can go and look up the account and all that stuff. But the Fed's definition of money is this. How about my carved rocks? They're small, durable, easy to carry, and astonishingly beautiful. No, that's okay. So oh yeah, I guess that did go along with that. And astonishingly beautiful. Well, rocks wash away over time. Sleek river rocks that have been there for thousands of years in the flow of the river are not the same as ones before, or same ones as before. Sure, rocks won't erode over the course of a human lifetime, but rocks can be crushed into a million pieces. How would you put them back together? Water? Then we would be using cement as money. As to the portability, well, see the silver certificate above, or a check or a debit card. This is just a blatant lie. Gold and silver are portable. There is slight mentioning of divisibility, which the Fed refers to as multiplicity, as in I need lots of rocks. And then here we go with this cartoon. It should be something we can multiply for bigger transactions. The same way I multiply my apples. Okay. That is why we have a bimetallic gold and silver standard. $1 weighs 0.715 ounces of silver, and a $20 double gold eagle weighs 0.9675 ounces of gold. That's more than 20 times the purchasing power, but still just one coin. The Fed, however, did manage to add a new parameter to the definition of money. Beauty. Seriously. But I guess we're all just fools for thinking that was a given. What is the Fed missing? What is the Fed missing? Only U.S. Constitution, weights and measures, because they're fixed, gold and silver, because they're now basically attacking it. So, and I showed you guys that, and I'm going to keep bringing this up. I did that video. Google is definitely in on that. So, does the Fed, the MSM, and Washington just want to destroy the dollar, or do they want to destroy the entire United States? It's a good question. So, moving on. I'm at 15 minutes here. Wow, jeez. So wearable tech is not just the Apple Watch, and now tech needs a ton of gold. So I'll put that video in the description. We don't need to go through this whole article. Just I'll put that video in the description. And oh, I don't know why that's the same one. September 2017, U.S. can pay off national debts, and debt ceiling isn't even a thing. This one is interesting. Jim Rickards is calling gold more than just money, and the two very real things in this post title only require the stroke of a pen. Is Jim broadcasting a message to the banks, governments, gold bugs, and silver bugs alike? Well, as we can see, there's moves being made to increase the demand and decrease the supply, which causes the price to, increase, obviously. So this is the truly weird gold story comes from the United States. Secretary of the Treasury Steve Mnuchin and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell just paid a visit to Fort Knox to see the U.S. gold supply. Mnuchin is only the third Treasury Secretary in history ever to visit Fort Knox, and this was the first official visit from Washington, D.C. since 1974. U.S. government likes to ignore gold and not draw attention to it. Official visits to Fort Knox give some gold monetary credence that central banks would prefer it does not have. Why an impromptu visit by Mnuchin and McConnell? Why now? The answer may lie in the fact that the Treasury is running out of cash and could be broke by September 29th if Congress does not increase the debt ceiling by then. But the Treasury could get $355 billion in cash from thin air without increasing the debt simply by revaluing U.S. gold to a market price. U.S. gold is currently officially valued at $42.22 per ounce on the Treasury books versus a market price of, well, we know it's more than that right now, right? Or that's the buy and sell price. The market price is actually $12.85. So yeah, maybe Mnuchin and McConnell just wanted to make sure the gold was there before they revalue it and issue new certificates. I found that the ones that editors note the math produces a dollar amount of U.S. gold reserves in excess of, what is that, 318,208,000,000, assuming 8,000 tons and $12.85 an ounce gold. So interesting, right? Man, almost 20 minutes already. Charles Nenner, extreme social unrest in the U.S. Put your money in gold. So we're hearing that all over the place from all kinds of people. So I'll put that. There's an interview here with Charles Nenner. You can check that out. I'll put that in the description. And then here we got smart money to find a home in gold and silver as home sales crash, which I just did a housing bubble video yesterday. The real estate market is crashing all around us. Latest report continues the housing market woes. Smart money always finds a home, but with stock, crypto, real estate, bond, junk bond, and debt bubbles everywhere, there is really only one stealth opportunity left. Lucky for us, it comes in pairs. The trend is very clear in the commercial real estate market and the residential housing market. Data indicating a weak economy is constant. It seems that for every 2 data releases with terrible data, the next data point is magically awesome again, only to go back to weak data immediately after. Case in point, yesterday everything was awesome. After the first revision to second quarter GDP, it seems growth was not that sweet. 2.6% we thought, but it was actually 3%. So yeah. We don't need to go through all that, really. That's, basically explaining what we already kind of knew. Um, silver and gold and silver. Take your flash crash dump and shove it as price spiking. So yeah, we keep seeing. Okay, the flash crashes are due to extreme sell-offs like that 21,000. What is it? The paper gold market, the 21,000 contracts that were just dumped at the last 5 minutes of the market on that Friday. But what I was hearing from some other sources that, or actually, I think it was from here actually, that somebody was with a lot of money that was privy of like seeing the patterns, was anticipating that sell off and went ahead and bought a bunch of those contracts so that basically that wouldn't be able to happen again. Then that way the price of gold would keep rising and the price of silver would keep rising. So I'm sure they're gonna try and smash gold and silver as much as they can at some point, but that seems like it. Like there was a smash right there, and then all of a sudden, boom. I don't know. Crazy world we live in, right? So, with that, I just want to do this as well. I haven't checked this site out before. It's called Recode, but Apple to FCC, protect net neutrality and don't allow online fast lanes. Apple is breaking its silence on net neutrality, urging Trump administration to preserve strong rules that prevent the likes of AT&T, Charter, Comcast, and Verizon from blocking or interfering with web traffic. Very cool. In its new comments to the Federal Communications Commission, the iPhone maker specifically urged Chairman Ajit Pai not to roll back an existing ban against so-called fast lanes, which might allow broadband providers someday to charge for faster delivery of tech companies' movies, music, and other content. Apple doesn't take an explicit position on the real legal issue at hand. If the FCC should protect the open internet by treating telecom giants similar to utilities, that's the net neutrality approach currently on the U.S. government's books, and it's one that Pi, with the backing of companies like AT&T and Comcast, hopes to scrap. Instead, Apple only shares its more general views about the need for net neutrality safeguards, a position he's taking because Apple itself serves up music and movies while investing in its own content that it can so easily deliver to consumers if internet service providers stand in the way. Let's see here. Broadband providers should not block, throttle, or otherwise discriminate against lawful websites and services, Apple said in its comments. Far from new, this has been a foundational principle of the FCC's approach to net neutrality for over a decade. Providers of online goods and services need assurance that they will be able to reliably reach their customers without interference from the underlying broadband provider. Lifting the current ban on paid prioritization arrangements could allow broadband providers to favor the transmission of one provider's content or services or the broadband provider's own online content or service over the online content, fundamentally altering the internet as we know it today. To the detriment of consumers, competition, and innovation, Apple explained. Apple remains open to alternative sources of legal authority, but only if they provide for strong, enforceable, and legally sustainable protections like those in place today. It concluded, simply put, the internet is too important to consumers and too essential to innovation to be left unprotected and uncertain. Comcast, through its NBCU arm, is an investor in Vox Media, which owns this website. Interesting, right? Well, They might be doing that for a reason. I don't know. Speculation at this point. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're at 25 minutes. And I guess that's all I got for today. You guys have a lovely day or night wherever you are. I am Chinoden. Love you guys. This is Follow That Flow. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this video. And check the links in the description. Joinminds.com. Sign up with my referral link. Do it. All right, you guys. Peace.